Last week, Birmingham won promotion out of League One. They won League One and they played at Wembley in the EFL Trophy final in front of 50,000 of their own fans. They are presenting themselves as the greatest team in League One history. But how have Birmingham got this far?
Birmingham, on the rise again.
Before the season, when you thought about Birmingham City, you thought about mediocrity, and I think that is a fair assessment. They spent 12 consecutive seasons in the Championship after the relegation from the Premier League in the 2010-2011 season, and technically the highest the league finish in the last 9 seasons is 17th. Obviously, Birmingham were relegated to League One last season, and you could say they were put out of their misery. Despite a very good start to the season and of course the bizarre sacking of Eustace, Birmingham fell down to the 3rd division for the first time in a very, very long time. When big teams are relegated to League One, and I think we can call Birmingham a big team here, like Sunderland, like Derby, there's a few other teams in there as well, it usually takes them quite a while to gain promotion out of League One. Like this season, we're seeing that with Huddersfield. They are floundering mid-table, not making playoffs, and we can call them a big team. I think they've won 3 First Division titles. They are a big team and they're failing to get promotion back to the Championship straight away. And many had the opinion that it could be the same story for Chris Davies' Birmingham. However, this was never going to be the case for the Blues. They spent big in the summer transfer window, and I mean big. And we can't ignore that. They spent $4 million for Williamson, the same amount for Christoph Calera, who played 30 times in the Bundesliga the season before, and roughly 20 million Great British pounds for striker Jay Stansfield. Those 3 players taking up the top 3 record transfer arrivals in League One history. They even spent $1 million on Alfie May, which is a fair price in fairness, because he is the best striker in League One before you could say Stansfield's arrival, and Kone has emerged as a really good player this year. Alfie May scored 23 goals in the league last season for Charlton and was scoring for fun in a very average Cheltenham side. And for Birmingham, he is only really used as a sub. This is nothing against Birmingham, as if you've got the money, you may as well spend it, and I see a lot of people giving Birmingham stick because they are spending a lot of money, but I do think they've completely inflated the League One striker market. For example, Wrexham signed Sam Smith from Reading in the January transfer window for roughly £2.5 million, which is a mental amount considering he was linked to Bristol Rovers the season before for only 500k. Although the belief Birmingham brought the league is wrong. Yes, they spent a lot of money, but they also took a risk on a fairly inexperienced manager in Chris Davies, and you could say it's paid off. They have been through an extreme squad overhaul, which for many clubs is their hamartia. As a Bristol Rovers supporter, I cannot help feeling envious of teams who are doing well, because we are terrible, but I think Birmingham totally deserve it. I went to St Andrews just a couple of weeks before Christmas. Birmingham didn't even get out of first gear all game and still controlled the game. But I appreciate it after all these years of mediocrity for Birmingham. They're having a good season for once. You could tell that from the attendances. They're up by thousands from the season before, and the fans are getting behind the team because they have something to shout about. As well as their league win and their appearance in the EFL Trophy final, they are on track to being the best team in League One history. That title is currently held by Wolves. They accumulated 103 points in the 13-14 season. Now obviously that should be a hard record to break, but I think it'd be more of a shock if Birmingham didn't break it. Birmingham, they are currently on 95 points with 6 games to go. They average 2.4 points per game, which should mean they end up on 109 points. That isn't breaking the record, that is breaking it and making sure no one betters it. And their matches, for their standards, are relatively easy. Their toughest game being Blackpool away in my opinion, and 3 of their last 6 games are against bottom 5 relegation threatened sides. We cannot talk about this recent rise of Birmingham without talking about who owns them. They're owned by a consortium led by Tom Wagner, who is an American financer, but let's be real, we're all here for Tom Brady, who needs no introduction. He is a minority shareholder in Birmingham City. And to be fair, Tom Wagner and Tom Brady seem to care about the club, which is almost rare to see in football these days when you think about Reading and Dyer Young and other football clubs who are being mismanaged by their owners. And of course they have their own media-fueled rivalry with Wrexham because of their owners, Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, which it does frustrate a lot of fans from other clubs because they believe that any League 1 and League 2 club should be getting the same exposure as Birmingham and Wrexham. Now, because Birmingham have been promoted, everyone is thinking ahead and wondering how well they will do in the Championship. Well, I put a poll up on my Twitter The link is in the description, by the way. And I asked, how well do you think Birmingham will do next season? As you can see, 4 brackets, top 6, top 12, bottom half, and then relegation. The majority of people, 62%, believe that they will finish top half. I seriously don't think that is an outrageous statement. If anything, they could go one further and push for playoffs. If you look at their current squad, this being their most used starting 11, they only need to make, in my opinion, a few changes to be a challenging Championship side. As a neutral, you're probably looking to move on Ben Davies. I'm not really keen on Williamson, especially when you think about how expensive he was. And Harris in the 10 probably needs to be altered. Other than that, I think they're a very decent side, especially at League One and probably in the league above. Even though I don't like him, I'd love to see Alfie May get a chance at a higher level than League One. He's been a bagsman in League One for so long. Peake and Awata in midfield is unbelievable. They complement each other really well. They're unbelievable in League One. That's most likely going to be the same story in the Championship. And the players that they can bring on to impact the game is mental too. They've got the likes of Keshi Anderson and Bielik, where if they're not starting, they can definitely impact the game. This season hasn't even ended yet. The new season hasn't started yet. But Birmingham have also got some business done. They signed Phil Newman from Hanover and he'll be joining the Blues at the end of the season. I assume he'll play alongside Clara. I think he is a centre-back. And I can't form an opinion on him. Funny enough, I don't watch Division 2 German football, but Birmingham fans are saying he's great, so I'll take their word for it. Birmingham's main objective next season is to do an Ipswich, if we are being honest, and I don't think they're far off it. If you're the best team in League One history, you're more than likely going to do well in the Championship. I do think they can push for playoffs next season, assuming they have a good transfer window, which will more than likely be the case. If you're spending around like £35 million in League One, they'll probably spend a similar amount in the league above. People may want to talk about Chris Davies not being experienced at that level, but neither was Kieran McKenna, and look where he's got Ipswich. The board clearly have a lot of faith in him because they are Birmingham. If they want to get an experienced manager who will get them up to the Premier League, they can get that. They can pay for that, but they're sticking with Chris Davies. That's probably because he is a good manager. Now, if you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. It means a lot and it tells me that you like these types of video. And yeah, fair play Birmingham. You're annoying but you're good, and yeah, good luck next season.